equals at the top right underneath your screen on the left side. Y equals. Okay? Are you doing it like I said? Okay. You do not need to type in y equals. It's already there for you. There's possibilities for 10 different kinds of equations, and we're going to just put in one. Okay? And the first one we're going to put in is this one. Y equals x squared plus 2x minus 5. So after you hit that y equals, you're going to hit this little button next to the alpha button where it says x, t, theta, n, right here. Okay? No matter what your paper says, if the unknown is what you're looking for, and it's in different letters other than x, you still use x in your calculator. Okay? You still use x in your calculator. So press that and then square it. Square button is diagonal to the number 7. Upward, diagonal upward. So you have x squared now, right? Okay, plus 2x minus 5. This is a minus sign, ladies and gentlemen. This is a minus sign. Are you looking? This is a negative sign underneath the 3. Do not use negative sign for minus and minus sign for negatives. It will give you an error. Minus signs look longer than the negative signs. Just giving you a little hint on that. Layla, do you have your packet?
No, I left it at home. It's on my desk in my room.
Okay, go get the calculator so you can at least follow along on how to use it. Okay. Are we good so far? Okay. And then hit graph. Right here. Bottom of the screen on the right. Top of your calculator buttons. Okay? If you cannot see your graph because your center is messed up somewhere else, hit zoom. Go to zoom and then press 6 for standard zoom. Z standard. Which will reset your entire thing to 10 by 10 by 10 by 10. Okay?
Press what?
Zoom. And then press 6. That's Z standard. It'll reset your window. So it'll be centered with the origin. And then you have 10 to the right, 10 to the left, 10 up, 10 down. You got it? Okay. Graph. Take that graph and I want you to sketch it here. Okay? It should look something like this. Yeah. Why? Why is it not working? Oh, because you have plot 2 on instead of plot 1. You should not have any spots on. Okay? All right. Are we good? Any questions? Christian, why are you back there? Why are you not here? Why are you back there? I told you, that's my favorite spot today. Stop sitting there. It's mine. All right. Try this one. I want you to put this one in, but here's the thing. I don't want you to clear Y1. Okay? I'm going to teach you how to turn off the graphs without erasing the entire line. Okay? So when you hit the graph button again, sorry, not the graph button, Y equals button again, you're going to get that list back, right? With Y1, Y sub 1, Y sub 2, Y sub 3, and so forth. There's a long list with colors in front of them, yes? Okay. I want you to go to the equal sign. That's next to the Y1. And then I want you to highlight, move the cursor button to highlight and hover over the equal sign like it would right here. Like right here. You know how like that one is darkened on your graphing calculator? I want you to go, stay on that same line, go back to the equal sign and press enter to turn it off. And then it should no longer be shaded, but it's blinking right there. Okay? And then go down to the right and then start putting this one in. Start putting in this equation into Y2, Y sub 2. Okay, Y sub 2. What is it? How did you break my calculator?
I didn't break it.
Yeah. And then now it's not shaded. So it's off. Now you put in a new one. That's all I was saying. Okay? So that way you have a way to keep the same equations, but if you need to save it for something else, it'll still be there. Does that make sense? And if you have a whole bunch from the previous class, do you know how to reset the calculator?
Yeah.
Yes? Second function plus sign 712 will clear the whole thing. So if it gets confusing with this, press that button, move the cursor to the left, so you're hovering over the equal sign, hit enter, and then now it's not shaded anymore like this one, right? So if you hit graph, it's going to graph just that one. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then you could do the same thing the other way too. So you could turn this one on, and then if you hit down and hit enter again, it'll turn the red one off, and the blue one will pop up. Okay? All right, are we good? Yes. I'm sorry? You probably used the negative button the wrong way. Yep, you used minus instead of negative. Do you know where the negative is? Under the 3? Yeah? Okay, anyone else? Okay, what's up?
Where's negative?
To the right button.
The right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Move the cursor to the right and it'll bring you down from the caret button. Yes.
Where's minus? I use the negative.
Minus. Negative is what you should use, not a minus.
Yeah.
You're welcome. What else?
Equal sign thingy.
Why'd you clear it?
Oh yeah, never mind.
There's no undo button, so now you have to type it all back in.
Oh.
So let's try it again. So let's do x squared. I'll do this one for you. X squared, okay, plus 2x minus 5.
For the second one.
Yeah, so we'll do the negative, not the minus. We do negative x squared, okay, plus 3x minus, no, plus 7. I don't want to graph both, so I move the arrow. I want to turn that off. Do you remember how you do it? Press that button. Now it's off because it's not shaded like this. Do you see how it's shaded and that one's not? That one means on, this one means off. So it's only going to graph the red line. Okay? So if you want to turn this one back on, go back, hit enter again. Go down, hit enter again. And then now you're only going to see blue. Hit graph.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, anyone else? We're good? You sure? All right, so did you sketch it? Did you sketch this one?
Yeah.
Yeah? Something like this? Where this is at 7,
Yeah.
and then we have a vertex somewhere here. This one should be -5. Yeah? How did I know those are my y-intercepts? Hmm?
Oh, because they're mentioned in the problem.
The equation in standard form can tell us one thing right away without doing anything else. And that's y-intercept. Okay? C value is always your y-intercept because what's the x value on the y-intercept?
That last one.
Y-intercept has what x value? 0. So if I put in 0 for x, so 0 squared plus 2 times 0, minus 5 is always going to be -5. So 0, -5 is my y-intercept. Put it in again. 0 squared plus 3 times 0, 0, plus 7. Where's my y-intercept? 0, 7. Yeah? Okay. All right, here we go. So if A is positive, then the parabola opens up or down? Up, like the letter U. Okay. If A is negative, then the parabola opens down, like a frown. Okay. Any questions? Cool. Axis of symmetry is an invisible line. That mirrors half of the parabola and goes through the vertex. Oh, sorry, invisible line. My bad, I forgot the word line. I said it and I didn't write it. An invisible line that mirrors half of the parabola and goes through the vertex. Okay? And the formula for axis of symmetry, as long as your parabola is vertical, like this, or upside down like this, it's always going to be x equals opposite of b over 2a. B and a comes from the standard forms, a, b, and c. Okay? What's the a here for y equals x squared plus 2x minus 5?
Yeah.
What is it?
One.
Is it 0 or 1?
It's one.
It's 1. It should be invisible 1, right? And then b?
2.
2. So we put the 2 in place of this b. So opposite of 2 is negative 2 divided by 2 times 1 for a.
2.
So negative 2 divided by 2 is negative 1. And that's where the y-intercept is. Sorry, not the y-intercept, my bad. Axis of symmetry. Okay? Any questions? So if I were to graph my axis of symmetry for this one, it would go through x equals negative 1. Does that make sense? Okay. Silo, you getting this?
Yeah.
All right. Vertex. Vertex is, how do I? A point that lies or that sits or lies on the axis of symmetry. I'm abbreviating symmetry. Okay. At the lowest or highest point of the parabola. I think I misspelled parabola. Hold on. Is that yellow okay? The mustardy yellow? It's okay? Or do you need me to change the color? I'll change the color if it's... Can you see it? Okay. Just checking. When the vertex is the lowest point, it is called a... I'll give you 2 choices. Minimum or maximum? Minimum. The valley is always a minimum. Minimum. And then the highest point, the peak of the mountain, if it's upside down, is called maximum. Okay. When you get to polynomials, you're going to be introduced to multiple minimums. So we don't say minimums, we say minima, or multiple maxima. Okay? So that'll be later when you guys have me for Algebra 2. Questions so far? Vertex? Vertex should always be in x, y form. Axis of symmetry should always be x equals something, a value. Okay? Yes? No. Okay, here we go. Find the axis of symmetry and vertex. I'm going to give you guys a break. That's why. Okay? So find the axis of symmetry and vertex, then sketch each parabola. So y equals x squared plus 8x plus 15. Let's label, okay? So this is y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. Which part is my a? Which part is my a? There's nobody there. X squared is not part of the a. X squared helps you locate where the a is, but x squared is not a. Are we clear on that? Okay, so what's here as a coefficient of x squared? 1. Okay. So this is 1 for a. What's my b then? B is 8. Okay. So B is, that's a highlighter. Hold on. B is 8. Okay. So we're going to find axis of symmetry by using our formula. Opposite of B divided by 2A. Which one's my B again? 8. So opposite of 8 is? -8. Do you know why I keep saying it's opposite of B instead of negative B?
Because there can be a negative and a negative.
Yeah, you guys might think that if I have a -8 here, you can just leave it as a -8 because of that negative sign. I don't want you to think that. It's always the opposite of whatever sign we have, okay? So opposite of 8 divided by 2 times A is 1. Then -8 divided by 2 is -4. So x equals to -4. Then we use this x value to find our vertex. Okay? So how do we do that?
You plug it into the equation.
You got it. So we're going to put in, we're going to put in -4 in place of x, right? Into y equals, and be careful. When you guys are putting in that negative into your calculator, okay? It should be inside the parentheses like this. Okay? When you put in this into your calculator versus this into your calculator, did you know it gives you different values? Try it. Oh, to get out of your graphing mode, hit second function mode, and it'll quit out of that screen back to your scientific calculator. Okay? So second function mode gets you out of the graphing mode, okay? So what's parentheses, grouped, -4 raised to the second power? What is that equal to? 16. Okay, try without the parentheses this time. -16. What's the difference? Why is this one saying it's positive 16 and this one saying -16?
Because the negative is.
What's the base here? What's the base to the second power here?
0.
We just had this test, didn't we? I swear I put this on the test. Yes.
Because that's -4 by -4, which is positive 16.
The base to this 2, the second power, is -4. The base to this second power is 4. And you take the opposite of that exponent. Does that make sense? Okay. We just had this test. I swear. That was like number 4 on the test. A and B. Yes?
I got them.
All right. It's fine. It's okay. The 0 kind of goes along with that. The 0 exponent goes with the same idea. Leighton, are you okay? Okay. And Verena, don't sleep in my class. All right, here we go. So I'm going to put in -4 to the second power, 8, open parentheses, put in -4 again. Okay. And then I'm going to put in plus 15. Okay. Tell me what you get. Do you need my help on typing it in? Do you guys got it? Okay. Do not multiply it in your head. I want you to write it exactly like this because I'm going to teach you how to bring back that same entry. You got it? Put it in exactly like the way I wrote it minus the y equals part. Okay? Don't put in this part. Into calculator, I want you to put all of this in. Okay? I'll erase it.
-1.
Okay? -1? All right. I want you to bring it back up by doing this. Okay? I need you to hit the second function once. You don't have to hold it. It's not like a shift button, but it is in terms of like it locks itself in that second function mode. And then I want you to press enter. And then it should bring back the exact same entry you just put in. Do you see it? Yeah? Then use the cursor button. Do you know which one I'm talking about? The cursor button? The directional one, up, down, left, right. Move the cursor to the left to change your x values to 0. I want you to change each of the x values to 0. So instead of -4, I want you to delete negative and then change the 4 to a 0. Delete negative and change the 4 to a 0. You got it? And then hit enter after you're done with that change. And you should get 15. You got it? Good. Yep. I see you, Santino. You're doing it right. Delete. There's a delete button. DEL at the top next to mode. Negative is that button right there. Below the 3. Okay? So change -4 to 0. Okay? Questions? I'm trying to write out all the steps so when you guys look at it again later with your calculator, you know what to do. Because you get to use the calculator, why not use it wisely, right? Okay, I'm going to move this over so I have room for sketch. I hope you guys do too. I love Notability so much. All right, here we go. So I'm going to draw a quick sketch of X and Y axis. Okay. I have my vertex. I have my line of symmetry. And you know how to graph it on your graphing calculator, yes? And we have our y-intercept. What's our y-intercept again? We just plugged in 0 for x for that. So y-intercept is at 0, 15. Yeah? So let's say this is 5, 10, 15. It's up here. -4. So if this is 5, 10, -10, then it'd be about -5. Would that be about right? I'll put a different color for that one. Yeah? So what do you think it's going to look like? So -4 is how far from the y-intercept, x-axis, sorry, y-axis. 0 to -4, how far is it?
-1.
4 units away. No, 0 to -4 is how many units away? 4. So I'm going to go 4 to the left, and then where am I going to land? -8. So here's -8, 4, and then it's going to mirror that y-intercept. Do you agree? Why would it mirror that y-intercept?
Because
What was our axis of symmetry? -4. And I told you the axis of symmetry mirrors one side, half of the parabola to the other, right? So if that y-intercept is 4 units from the axis of symmetry, where's the other point that mirrors it? 4 units to the left of -4, which is -8 at 15. Does that make sense now? Yes? We didn't have to calculate it, but if you did, you want to try it? Or you want to just take my word for it? if you put in negative 8 for x, square it, add 8 times negative 8, and then add 15, you should get 15. Want to try it? On your calculator, all you have to do is second function enter and change that 0 to a negative 8, right? Someone confirm it for me.
Yeah, you're right.
Replace the 0 that we just had with that equation to negative 8 and tell me if you get 15. Yeah? Does that make sense why that worked? Yeah? Okay. All right, let's move on. Here we go. Let's try this one. Number 2, and then I'll give you a break. Okay? Number 2, and then I'll give you a break. So if you need to go potty, you can go potty. If you need to go get water, you can go get water, and then just come back in 5 minutes. Okay? All right, here we go. Axis of symmetry, x equals, what's the formula again? Nora. That's the standard form. So I'll just write that on top of my equation. But what's my axis of symmetry formula? I was going to ask someone else, but thank you. Negative b, or opposite of b, over 2a. Which part of this is my a that I should use? Who can tell me what is my a value here? Sienna. Negative 1. So a is negative 1. Then what's my b? What's my b? Levy. 10. So I'm going to put opposite of 10 over 2 times the 1. Then I have negative 10. I'm sorry, what?
Negative 2.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Thank you, Layla. It should be negative 1. So the denominator should be negative 2. Yeah? So what's 10? Negative 10 divided by negative 2? Negative 10 divided by negative 2? 5. So x equals 5. Vertex is going to use that 5 to find its y value, right? What are you looking at? Why? Why? Why do you care? Why is that so important? You guys are being weird. Sketch your graphs if you're that ahead. All right, here we go. So plug in 5. Plug in 5, y equals. We're going to put in 5 for every time I see an x. Now, if I put in a 5 for this one, am I going to put the negative inside the parentheses or outside the parentheses? It should be outside the parentheses because it was already there in our equation first, okay? That negative, it was outside of the x, and the x value is 5, not negative 5, okay? So I'm going to keep that negative outside the parentheses. I'm going to put in my 5 in that parentheses spot, and then add 10, x, oh, not x. What are we putting in for x? You guys are so done, aren't you? Monday after lunch. You guys are pooped. All right, put that in. Tell me what you get. Two? What happened? So what did you get? 2. 5, 2. Sketch it. So x and y axis. It looks like it's probably going to be upside down. Yeah? 5, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2. Y-intercept's going to be where? What is it? You got it. So it's 0, negative 23. So it's going to be like super duper far from, let's see, if I made that my negative 5, probably need to extend it, negative 10. Super duper low. How about I do this? I don't want to keep going here. Sorry, I'm going to fix it. Let me try that again. Okay. That's 5, but I'm going to make this my 5 on the y-axis. 5, 10. So that's negative 5, negative 10. So this would be negative 20. So y-intercept will be at 0, negative 23. It's an estimate. It's not exact. 5, 2 will probably be slightly above that 5. Where should I mirror my point? I only have half of a parabola. How far is the y-intercept from the axis of symmetry? Horizontally. What's the horizontal distance? 5. So I'm going to go 5 to the right of that axis of symmetry. So where am I at? What's my x value here? 10. And then it would match the 23. How we doing? You good? If you want more practice, go for the number 3, 4, 5. I'm going to pause here for your break because you guys need. Y equals x squared plus 2x minus 1. We're going to try to graph this. Who can tell me what the formula is for the axis of symmetry? That's more than one person. I can't hear anything. Panya. Negative b over 2a. Which one's my b? B is my 2. A is 1. The invisible 1 that is sitting right in front of the x squared. Okay? If the x squared is not in its place, you look for x squared to make sure that you are looking for the right coefficient for a. Okay? If it is not in the right place, then look for x squared and look for the coefficient in the right place. Okay? Last chance before I start giving out lunch attention. Go back to your seats. Cooper?
What?
Aren't you supposed to be there?
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, I said so earlier. Who else is not in their seats? We're good? All right. Too bad that got recorded. Here we go. Negative opposite of 2 over 2 times 1. So I have negative 2 over 2. And what's that equal to, Cheyenne? You got it. So x is going to equal negative 1. Negative 1 is right here. I'm putting in a dashed line because is this an actual line in the function or an invisible line? Invisible line. So now I know exactly how far I need to mirror all my points if I have one side of the points. Okay? So we got the vertex. Vertex is going to be plugging in negative 1 into the equation as x and then chugging it out, solve it out. Okay? In your calculator. Use your calculator accurately, please. Okay? We're going to put in negative 1 in parentheses. Square that. Add 2 times negative 1 again. And then minus 1. Remember, negative 1 is different than minus 1. Negative 1 is below the 3 button. Minus 1 is next to the 6 button. Or underneath the plus sign, right?
Above the plus sign.
Oh, above the plus sign next to the 6. Yes? And what do you get? I got negative 2. No? Someone said 2. So I was just checking. So -1, -2 should be written in the center of my table. -1, -2, right here. This is my vertex. Okay. Then I pick a number 2 before and 2 after. So what's two numbers before -1? -2, -3, yeah? And then 2 after would be 0 and 1. Any questions so far? Now we just hit up, since you already have this in your calculator once, right? Press second function, then enter. You don't have to hold it down at the same time. You just press it once, second function, and then once enter, and it'll give you the exact same one. Use the cursor button for the left side. You know what I'm talking about when I say cursor button, right? So we go like this, and then change -1 to -3. Okay? So you were replacing all the negative ones with -3. Then we have -3 squared, 9. 2 times -3, -6. So that's 3. -1 is 2. Did I get that right? Second function mode will get you to the regular calculation screen. Mode is right next to the second function.
Oh, okay.
There you go. Okay? Did we get it?
No.
Did I get it wrong or right? 9 minus 6 is 3. 3 minus 1 is 2. Did I get 2? Is that right? Evan Young, Aiden Rodrigo, put it away. You are not writing a single thing on your paper, and you are not paying attention at all. Lucky you if you understand this. I need you to really understand it to the point that you could teach it.
I'm ready to really understand.
Did you get -3 too? Yes? Okay, -3, 2. There's my first one there. And then let's do -2. So do it again. Second function, enter. And then you should get the last entry back. Just change the 3 to a 2 this time. Okay, change 3 to a 2. -3 to -2. You got it? And then hit enter. What do you get? Let's see. -2, square root 4, -2, 0, -1? Is it -1?
Yeah.
Okay. If I put in 0 for x's, what am I going to get? 0 here, 0 here. What am I going to be left with? Damien? If I put in 0 here, 0 here, what am I going to get here? 0 squared is 0. 2 times 0 is 0. So 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 minus 1. -1. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was. It's all good. The boat has sailed. All right, we're going to change it again. We need to change the -2 to a +1. We need to delete one of the two locations, the negative or the 3, or negative or the 2, and change it to a single whole number 1. Or you could do it in your head. 1 squared is 1, 2 times 1 is 2, so 3 minus 1 is 2. I'm getting a mirror image, are you? Good. Follow the lines, and we should have a nice parabola. Okay, questions? No questions? All right. Domain and range. What's the domain? How far is this going to stretch? X, Y. Infinitely many on both directions or just one? Both. So we're going to write -infinity to +infinity. Do you guys remember how to cheat the infinity sign if you can't do it?
Write an 8 7.
What do you mean if you can't?
Turn your paper right.
Like that. 2 zeros.
Some people
right next to each other? It's a little hard to do that sideways. So I'm just saying. Okay? Some people can't do braces. Some people can't do infinity. Some people can do both. Everybody has different talents. Yeah. See? Not everybody can do everything. All right, you ready? Range. Where does it begin on the y values? -2. So it begins at -2. And does it go up or down? Up forever and ever. So we go positive infinity. And it starts at -2. So we use a bracket. Do not miss that. A lot of my Algebra 2 missed it for the domain and range for the quadratic section. Okay? If you use an inequality, make sure you have it set with the right variable. Y is greater than or equal to -2. Okay? Or you could say for domain, all real numbers. We good? Don't lean on that. Go ahead and try 3 and then do 4. That should give you plenty of time, okay? For you to catch up with me. Okay, axis of symmetry. What's the formula? Sophie. What's the axis of symmetry? X equals? You got it. -b/2a. Stop bouncing that ball. X squared helps you find the a, but it is not part of the a. So Gabriel, you want to try one more time? -2. Malik, what's the a? No, let's try that again. No. It's just -2. Okay? This is your a. Okay? It does not include the x squared. It helps you locate the a, but it does not sit part of the a value. Okay? So we have -2 as my a. Which one's my b then? Izzy. B, which one's B? Robert? It's just 4. Do not call X as part of the B. Izzy, which one's my B? I just said it. Okay, let's do this. Y equals, write it on top. AX squared plus BX, he's trying to help you out, plus C. Write it right on top, and then you can see it a lot easier, yes? A is right here, B is right here, C is right here. Are we good now? Yes? If you're ever unsure, write it on top, the standard form. Yes? Okay, here we go. Is that what you did, Kaden? Good job. Okay, so B, opposite of B is going to be -4. Then we have -4 over -4 again. What is that equal to?
1.
So X is going to equal 1 for the axis of symmetry. So where do I put my vertical line? On X equals 1 or Y equals 1? Even though it is parallel to the Y, it cuts through the X value at 1, so we put it as a vertical line. Are we clear on this? Okay, so this is X equals 1. We need to plug that in for the what? Vertex. So we plug it in. Use your calculator. -2. Open the parentheses and put in 1 squared plus 4 times 1. Then add 1. This is what we're changing in our equation, the purple parts. Okay? And when you change those purple parts, you should be able to get a new y value. Okay? So put it into your calculator. -2. Open parentheses, 1, Izzy. And then close the parentheses after 1, square it. Izzy, calculator. Okay, good. And you got 3? Did everyone get 3? That's -2 times 1 is -2 plus 4 plus 1. That's 2 plus 1 is 3. Kaden was right. Ibu was right. So here's 1, 3 for the vertex. Okay? 1, 3. Plot my 1, 3. 1 down 3. Right there. There's my vertex. Sorry, my bad. Miss Pion put it in the wrong place, didn't I? 1, 3. Up here. 1, 3. Okay? Are we good? Yes or no?
No.
What are you signing to him? What are you signing to him? All right, 2 numbers before, 2 numbers after. 2 numbers before of 1 is 0 and then -1. And then 2 numbers after. 2 and then 3. Okay. So plug and chug for each one. Are you plugging it into your calculators? -10 plus 1 is -9. And then we have 1. And then 2 squared plus 8 plus 2.
Ms. Ben, when you find the vertex and put on the table, to find the other ones before the vertex, you have to put it in the calculator.
To find the y values? I mean, you could do it with your mental math, with work, or you could put it in a calculator. I just figured if you guys practice with the calculator, you'd be more accurate in practicing. So for the test, it'd be easier and faster. Did I do this wrong? Please tell me. I feel like I did something wrong. Negative what? 5 for -1? Ah, that's where it went wrong. -2 minus 4 plus 1 is negative. Wait, that's -6 plus 1 is -5. Yeah? All right. Okay, so -1, -5. 3, -5. Okay. 2, 1, 1, and we have a parabola. Okay? Questions? Now, this is where it gets tricky with the domain and range. Domain is still what? For all quadratics, domain will always be all real numbers as long as it's not sideways. Okay? Range is going to be the different part. Where do we begin writing our range? Least to greatest or greatest to least? It's least to greatest. Which part is least compared to, let's see, y equals 3? Negative infinity. So we start with negative infinity, then we reach up to positive 3, and that is the end point for that range. Okay, if you put 3 negative infinity, you will be wrong. Okay? Any questions? All right, here's your homework. You better do it well. Hold on. 8 through 11. Let's make this our homework. 8 through 11. Okay? No, you don't need to clean up. You can at least solve one problem before you go, yeah? Do it. And I'm going to start recording.